Alright, ladies and gentlemen, I'm here on this show, and I'm here to recap the Arca Menards series here, Talladega. I had more hopes for this race. I thought maybe it could be a good race, but it wasn't. It was terrible. That might have been the worst race I've ever watched live. What a waste of my time. About 2 hours watching this crap. I mean, it was pathetic. Nobody made a move. Really, throughout the whole race up front, the only racing was, like, maybe 10 seconds behind the leaders when people started losing the draft. Like, it just wasn't fun to watch. Like, I don't see how Charlie Crawl and Arca can defend this race. Because this race was not. Because this race was not fun to watch. And look, the thing with Arca, and that race sure sucked. Like, I've seen races suck before, like bad races, but that was the suckiest pile of shit of it that I've ever seen. Like, 0 green flag passes for the lead, worst race I've ever seen, single file for the whole time. Just stop bringing Arca to Talladega, for the love of God. But how do you fix it? I mean, as much as I like NASCAR and Arca, I mean, this is the most respectful way possible. Saying it's the worst race I've ever seen. And this could have turned away any fans that even watch Arca. Is there a solution? No, I'm not saying there's a solution. I can't really come up with one. I mean, I love Arca, but something must change regardless of what it is or how much it costs. Because you gotta change something. You can't just keep coming back here having these Superspeedway races where nobody tries to make a pass for the win. And people be like, oh, it starts by not letting bitch ready to run more than 2 cars at Superspeedway. Even then, it might not work because you're losing competitive teams. And it's absolutely dreadful. I'd rather watch a next-gen short track race in the Cup Series. And that race was big fat ass. You can't defend this race. I mean, I don't see how. Like I said, maybe they need to stop going to Talladega here. Because it feels like every time they race here, it's a terrible race to watch. But Jake Finch comes the first driver to lead every lap in an Arca race at Talladega, and Arca win #1. How does a plate race end up being the worst race in the series? Like, stinker, like. At least I know how to put up a fight for the win, but it's a result of too much drag in these cars. Cut the spoiler in half, then you'll have a better race. It's just boring, worst race ever, and just sad. Like, and they're posting this on, Arca's posting this on their Twitter like, oh, this race was anyway entertaining. It wasn't. Why race if no one wants to try and win? You can't even call this a race you can't even call this a race. 0 passes for the lead. Christian Rose is the only one that tried, but Tanner Gray didn't jump out of line, or Dustin didn't try and push him. Like, this didn't feel like a race. Like, just utterly atrocious. I get so upset for no reason watching these shitty Arca Superspeedway races. Everyone just wants to follow the lead car to victory lane every single time. Like, I don't like to put racing series down, but something needs to be done here. That was quite literally the worst modern NASCAR series, like, NASCAR-like series race I've ever seen sometime. Even worse than the Xfinity Atlanta, where you couldn't run any other line for shit. Everyone raced not to wreck, basically, it felt like. Poor Christian Rose gets laid out to dry by the Toyota brigade. You ever wonder why people say NASCAR's just driving in circles? This is why. Because they were literally driving in circles the whole day, besides maybe people that lost the pack and they were actually racing. I don't want to say get rid of the series, because I think that's too far. But it's crazy how race at Talladega be that horrible, but hey, it's the Arca series. But I will never understand just sitting in line and not even attempting to go for the win, especially when someone in front of you makes a move and you stick them out. They can't even do anything in Giro if they wanted to because their plate package sucks. Like, it's impossible to gain an actual run. Like, they have no understanding of how to build a run. Like, and probably the most exciting thing that happened in this race was when they showed Andy J eating a banana. And so the first about 30 laps of this was what? Single file. Jason Kitzmiller blew up, which is unfortunate because he had a good run at Daytona and the Superspeedway. He always runs good at these Superspeedway tracks. Unfortunate. They were single file for the first like 30 something laps until the race break. And but Chris Wright saying the quiet part out loud. Essentially, he did everything to ensure Venture anyone. But even if he wanted to make a move, do you think he would have been able to? Probably not. They just happen to be the best team currently, but that was really bad. Even if Chris Wright wanted to make a move, he would have got left out, so I don't get it. I really don't. They just ran the worst race in the history of any motorsport that I've watched. And I've watched some F1 races. But legit, nothing happened in this race. Like, I'm not lying. Like, if you watch this race, nothing happened. And I had more hopes for this race. I thought it'd be a exciting race. Hey, we can maybe get an underdog winner, but no. Just glad that shit's over. Just start bringing this series for Talladega, for the love of God. I'll never get time back from watching that crap. How do I unwatch a race? Oh yeah, I can't. But something's gotta change for Talladega in this series. They don't have to spare your horsepower and run one single line. What? I don't know. This series used to be good with Kimmel and Steele. Now it's a Toyota Venturini series. 8 cars that can win a race. Like, Arca doesn't belong at Daytona or Talladega. Well, Daytona's actually solid. Daytona's good. I'll say that. But Talladega's awful. Follow the leader, boring. Horrific, awful. Arca drivers trying to make a pass for the lead. Oh, they can't do it. Absolute ass. Ooh. Rose had a decent run and got left out to dry. I don't know why they are also scared. Like, the caution then, one caution. Yeah, one caution for the race break, 0 lead changes. And LeVar Scott stalled with 32 to go, and that's really the last thing that happened the rest of the race with 32 to go. Also, another complaint, so many commercials. Like, we had like